Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, the voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by BASF, where you can count on the trusted performance of Olivo seed treatment to protect your soybean crop. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Under cloudy skies, I've got 36 degrees on the barn thermometer, but with that breeze out there, it makes it feel like it's in the low 20s. Now, for better or worse, depending on how you look at it and what you're trying to get accomplished, this may be the low temperature for the next several days as we have a warm-up throughout Christmas and going into the weekend. Taking a look at your top headlines at OhioAgNet.com, we have an article by grain analyst John Sheave, who shares that since reaching a 17-month high on November the 18th, soybeans have been in sharp decline. Prices have fallen 16 of the last 23 trading sessions and are now roughly $1.20 a bushel lower than they were a month ago. Prices, though, are still a little higher than 46 days ago when the rally started, but below values when the trade deal was announced in late October. Now, in another article, Dr. Randall Reeder takes a look at soil health and cover crops and some of the terminology change over the year, from soil tilth to soil quality and now soil health, and some folks that are referring to cover crops as soil health crops due to the benefits they provide to that environment. Now, in a featured video, Dale Minyo catches up with the new president of the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association, Eric Tipton. Eric is a farmer from Fayette County, and you can listen to that interview and learn more about what he sees for the coming year. And finally, it's that time of year when we begin looking back as a recap on 2025. And so for the next several days, we'll have a number of different articles that had a lot of traction in the past year. The first of those talking about yaks. All this information, as well as markets, weather, and more, can be found online at OhioAgNet.com. In other agricultural headlines, the phosphorus fertilizer outlook in 2026 looks to be extremely complex. Affordability remains historically bad in 2025, and this situation looks like it could remain in place into the next year, as is the case for both nitrogen and phosphorus. The outlook for 2026 is somewhat cloudy. Countervailing duties in the United States, less Chinese exports, and demand destruction across the world are major issues facing the nutrient. However, there are some bright spots for the phosphorus fertilizers. According to the fertilizer analyst, lower prices at the end of 2025 and less demand destruction than originally assumed are a couple positives as we go into the new year. Now, looking back, global fertilizer use recovered in 2024, reaching a new record according to the International Fertilizer Association's public summary, the medium-term outlook from 2025 through 29. Fertilizer use, which is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potash, increased 4.5% to 198 million metric tons of nutrients in 2023, and that's projected to rise another 4.4% and reach 206 million metric tons in 2024. This marks a 17 million metric ton increase from the low of 189 million metric tons, that in 2022, and 4 million metric tons above the previous record demand of 202 million metric tons, which was set back in 2020. Increases in global fertilizer use is expected to be seen between 2025 and 29, though at a slower pace than the past 2 years, according to the IFA, with an annual growth rate projected between 1% and 2%. Total use is forecast to be 224 million metric tons by 2029. That's an increase of 18 million metric tons compared to where it was in 2024. Well, let's take a look now at your Monday weather forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance, online at seedconsultants.com.
Warmer today with a mix of clouds and sun. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Quick forecast update for you here. We're seeing our biggest threat for cloud cover through the day today, a little bit farther to the north, coming across Michigan and into the Lake Erie Basin. So I think we're looking at a decent setup for today. Overnight tonight, more clouds and maybe a few spits and sprinkles, especially central and south. Those clouds will hold well into tomorrow morning. We finally get good clearing statewide for tomorrow late afternoon. High pressure over us on Wednesday. And Christmas Day, after a few spits and sprinkles in the morning, should turn out rather pleasant. I'm Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
When you're buying seed, there's more to a transaction than money. You're exchanging time and trust, hoping each decision adds up at harvest. Seed Consultants sales professionals don't take that lightly. With products made to excel in the Eastern Corn Belt and agronomic knowledge that stands up to the test, we're all about the same things you are: reliability and results. Buy into a better seed experience. Visit seedconsultants.com to view our corn and soybean lineup.
Let's get an analysis on today's markets from Leist Mercantile. Here's Ryan Metzger.
This is Ryan Metzger with Leist Mercantile, providing you with your technicals update to start the week. These technical indicators are the price levels in which futures find support and where futures find resistance. We have March 26 corn with support at 442 3/4 and the first level of resistance at 445 1/2. March 26 soybean futures have the first level of support seen at $10.56 1/2 and the first level of resistance at $10.63 1/4. New crop July 26 Chicago wheat has the first level of support seen at $5.28 1/2 and the first level of resistance at $5.36 1/2.
And thanks, Ryan. Let's take a look now at your markets for a Monday, brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. Well, March corn is trading up 3.5 cents at $4.47 1/4. January soybeans up 6.5 at $10.55 3/4, and wheat for July 7 cents higher at $5.38 3/4. Thanks for joining us. This is the Ohio AgNet.